Welcome everybody. Today's Tech Check is brought to you by DT Swiss and their all-new EXC1200 Classic wheel set. We will be diving into some of the details and learning more about this new carbon wheel set from DT Swiss. These EXC1200s feature DT Swiss's Revolite cold forged spoke, a 180 Deeg ceramic bearing driven hub with 4 degrees of engagement, and DT's out of the mold production process that minimizes waste and maximizes strength and reliability while keeping the weight at just 1,725 grams for this 29-inch wheel set. Front and rear wheels get a specific profile aimed at a no compromise strength to weight ratio. The front wheel opts for a 28 spoke count while the rear comes in at 32, maximizing strength where it counts. Both the front and rear specific wheels have an inner width of 30 millimeters. Wheels are offered in both 27.5 and 29-inch options, with both having 148 millimeter rear and 110 millimeter front hub. Pricing comes in for the US market at $2,911.80, while in euros it is $2,499.80. The EXC model of the 1200 series wheels are DT's enduro-focused wheel set, and thus they are ASTM Level 5 certified. The focus of this wheel set was to deliver on the brand's ethos of zero compromise durability, with also creating a wheel set package that is lightweight enough for those big days in the saddle. To do this, DT has a patent-pending production process dubbed out of the mold. This allows them to pull the wheel straight from the mold without having to remove excess resin, resulting in fewer imperfections thanks to uninterrupted fibers. The sections of carbon enclose the entire rim to better solidify the rim horns against heavy impacts. Let's jump over to a conversation I had with Brandon and Frieza from DT Swiss about this out-of-the-mold production technique.
Production method we are using is patented by DT Swiss, so we're using a specifically new production method which gives us the chance to use this carbon fiber rim directly out of the mold, where usually any carbon fiber rim will be covered with lacquer and you need to remove small holes and things like this, but what you can see out there is really and the carbon. There's no lacquer, there's nothing around it. With this specific process, we're pretty sure that we see any failure on the rim, and that means that we have less failure rate, we have less waste. And waste, that's pretty good if you can have less of them on any production process.
With this new carbon production technique, the result is higher compaction, which leads to a stronger rim and one that is lighter. So when we think about what the benefit of this production technique is to the rider, it's a stronger, lighter rim. And then as Frieza pointed out, that cosmetic finish that doesn't require any further finishing beyond that naked carbon display.
The Revolite spokes play a huge factor in how these wheels feel out on the trail. DT's flat cold forging production process for these spokes allows them to increase the density of the material and minimize weight. These double-butted spokes forging method creates a uniform shape that not only increases strength and cuts down on weight, but also retains the elongation properties, ultimately extending the lifespan of the wheel. This cold forging process is the first of its kind in the mountain bike industry and also provides distinct mechanical advantages over traditional spokes. Let's jump back again with Brandon and Frieza to learn a little bit more about these spokes.
When we on one hand say aerodynamics, it's not that important on mountain biking, but at the other hand, we see many mountain bike wheels with aero spokes. That's why I don't name them usually aero spokes, but bladed spokes. Because the benefit is not the aerodynamics, but the benefit is that you have a material which is very high dense, which is very high compressed. And at the other hand, in this process, in this cold forging process, starting with the reducing, so we're using the Revolite spoke, starts with a spoke which is changing diameter 2.0 to 1.6 to 2.0. At the end, for the thread and for the head, it's the thickest part, and in the middle it is getting thinner. We're saving weight. That's a forging process we're using at DT Swiss. That means at the same time, the material is more robust. You have more material on less space. it's less weight at the end, and we're saving weight without reducing function of this product.
The Deeg 180 hub features two oversized 90-tooth ratchets with just 4 degrees of engagement, the lowest of any hub ever produced by DT Swiss. And should those ceramic bearings ever wear out, you're able to service this hub without any special tools. The enlarged ratchet size increases the contact patch over a pawl-driven system. The Deeg hub has full engagement on the ratchets at all times, resulting in a more balanced load transfer and a longer lifespan of the system. Within the hub, there are 2 separate floating steel ratchets transmitting power to the ground. Let's jump back with Brandon Frieza just one last time to learn more about what makes the Deeg 180 hub unique.
So if we talk specifically about the ratchet Deeg hub, and to Frieza's point earlier, at the heart of the DT Swiss brand, our products is reliability. And that includes being able to reliably service and maintain your products over time. So with the ratchet Deeg system, we still have the 2 floating star ratchet design, but the primary difference you're going to see when you open up that ratchet Deeg hub is you have enlarged star ratchets, which hopefully you can see with my background filter. The big difference with these enlarged star ratchets is you now have 90 teeth, so 90 points of engagement, which equates to 4 degrees of engagement. That means that you have a hub that's going to engage much more quickly. It's much more responsive within your pedal motion. And this was really designed with a lot of feedback globally, but specifically within the North American market. We listened to a lot of riders that wanted a more responsive hub, but still wanted the durability, the reliability, as well as the ease of maintenance that DT Swiss hubs are known for. So the other key difference you'll see with these hubs is because of those floating star ratchets, we were actually able to move the cartridge bearings further inboard from the driver body and further outboard from inside the hub shell. And the reason why that's important, the reason why I'm pointing it out, is you can actually replace those cartridge bearings much more easily without need for specific tools. You can replace them by hand. So we actually made it easier to exchange those cartridge bearings when it's time to service and maintenance those bearings.
If you want to learn more about the other options in this wheel lineup, head over to theloamwolf.com and check out the full article. Drop this video a like if you want to see the full unedited conversation we had with Brandon and Frieza. And if you have not yet subscribed, there is no better time than now. Thanks for tuning in to learn all about the new EXC1200 wheels from DT Swiss. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments. DT will be chiming in, answering anything you might want to know. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you out on the trails. Of course.